Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. It is that time of year again. We're getting ready to celebrate the holidays with our best picks of the year. We're in Rock Fantasy in Middletown, New York, with owner and proprietor Steve Keeler.
Santa Flip shirt on from Loose Flip, Germany.
Look at that. We also have Nick Franco here of Sea of Tranquility and all sorts of other places. Nick, where else can they find you?
CrypticRock.com and then a new one called Dissension Promotions.
Pretty cool.
Check that out.
So what we're going to do is we picked I picked my top 10 of the year. They've got a couple more. So
Come on. We got more than
We're very
10.
indecisive.
yeah. So I've given them the freedom to list however many they want, as long as they keep it within reason. So I'm going to let Steve go first. It's his house here, you know.
Age before beauty.
We threw.
right.
Whoa. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Come to Rock Fantasy, the brand new, all new downtown Middletown, right next to
It's awesome.
Equilibrium and the Italian Bakery, Di Filippi's. And we're going to start off with some death metal from Nile. And what is it called? The file? Nilotic Rights.
Nilotic Rights.
I can't talk good today, but it's early. And this came in at number 15. This list was put together pretty roughly just because I've been so busy opening up the shop. And number 14 from Sweden, Opeth. Not really a metal album, but it's hard rock. Yeah, because there's some metal tendencies.
Hard rock and prog,
He doesn't
yeah.
growl, but
No, not anymore. No.
he still growls in concert, I heard.
Oh, you take the best fucking parking spot there is?
Got it,
What do
man.
you
Sorry.
think this is?
We got people bitching and complaining. These are guys, are tough guys coming around. We got Flesh God Apocalypse, Valeno.
Milano.
This came out last year, and it's one of the things I listened to a ton over the years. And I love this band from Italy. And we're moving on down the road. And this one should probably be way higher in the list. It's been out. I almost thought it was from last year. But it came out in February. Overkill, Wings of War. Last Man Standing, Believe in the Fight, Head of a Pin, Batshit Crazy. Some strong tracks. And Overkill still got it
Yeah.
in 2019.
Probably their best album in years, and they've been releasing a lot of good ones.
And they have. I mean,
Yeah.
the last
Very
album
consistent.
was strong also.
Very consistent band.
And one of our other favorites from Greece, the Rotting Christ.
Oh, Christ.
Unfortunately, Rotting Christ is coming. Fortunately, they're coming to New York City, but they're playing with Borknagar.
At the smallest place
In
possible.
the smallest place. Maybe we could book them to play the restroom here. No, we're not making fun of St. Vitus. It's a great club to go to, but this deserves a bigger venue.
Yeah.
The Rotting Christ with the Heretic.
The Heretic.
And next in line, one of my favorites. Oh, they're going to get mad. They're going to say, oh, you still listen to Hammerfall, right? 2019. But Hammerfall, saw them twice this year. Went to the record release in Brooklyn at Brooklyn Bazaar. And saw them open up for Sabaton at PlayStation, the last metal show at the
That's
PlayStation
right.
Theater.
Right.
And it's a cool power metal record. Look at that. Gatefold.
There they are.
Nick wishes he was in that lineup. Look at Nick. Try to get in a picture with him. The Mighty Hammerfall. Would never. And a band I never used to really like, but now I like a lot. And it's mellow. It's not real heavy. It's not our.
They haven't been real heavy in a long
They
time.
haven't been real heavy, but
Yeah.
I listen to this album a lot. And I don't even know how to pronounce that. Repeat well first. Talvio?
Telvio? Yeah,
Telvio?
Telvio, something like that. I don't know. I never heard it. I've not heard it.
You haven't listened to it?
No, I kind of.
How did that
I
happen?
stopped listening to Sonata years ago.
We're going to shock everyone with this one.
You're not shocking me.
You're not shocking you?
No.
You're going to shock people that I hang out
No.
with. This album.
great
and,
album.
I've seen rumors. Queensryche, The Verdict. I've listened to this album a lot this year. It's a strong record. And then you got Jeff Tate going. He wants to get back on it. Stay home, please.
Exactly.
I haven't listened to Queensryche in
Thank
years
you.
till this.
Thank you.
Till this lineup.
And
came
I
out.
love Jeff Tate, but come on.
But he
they
hasn't
don't.
been
They
metal
don't.
and-
No, and they don't need him. They don't
And
need him anymore.
They don't
No
need him.
comparison
And if he goes
vocalist.
back with them, then I will listen to
Tour.
Queensryche again.
Yeah, it's a kick-ass
So,
album.
Queensryche, The Verdict. I listened to it a ton this year. This could be higher on my list because it's one of my favorite bands. I even have my Sabaton camos on today. My Arctic camos because it's very cold in New York
It
right
is,
now.
it is.
Sabaton, The Great War. Saw this at PlayStation Theater. This band is amping up. They're getting popular. They sold out the PlayStation with Hammerfall months in advance. And,
They have the momentum right now that Amon and Amarth did about like maybe
I think
8,
Amon
10 years
Amarth has a
ago.
lot of momentum also right now. We're
But
gonna
I mean,
get to
but
that
I'm saying,
later.
but
Yeah.
what's
Oh, yeah,
going
yeah.
on with them now is like
Yes,
it was for them
yes.
a while back.
And Amon Amarth, when we saw them at Hammerstein sold out show, Pyro,
It's a big place.
Flames.
Yeah, it's a big place.
That was a great tour too, without the gates and one
Interesting
of my
choice.
favorites.
It's good. I like it.
The Mr. Abath,
Yeah.
got to meet him, hung out with him at the Gramercy. Interesting character. Hopefully he's doing
Was he
better now.
sober when you met him?
He was pretty much normal that
Yeah.
day, but I don't know if there's a normal with Abath, is there?
He's entering into a rehab facility to try and get right.
I think he's
And
entered it. For
on
a
behalf
while
of
now.
all of us, I want to say good luck to him, and I hope he
Yeah.
pulls it together.
And my
Absolutely.
friend Dale
Talented guy.
Caldwell
Talented
did the
guy.
leather. Digger.
Yeah.
Dale Caldwell, one of my good customers, comes up from Florida, works at Renfair, did the leathers for the battle armor for Abbott. He also works with Behemoth and a few others. So.
And just want to make quickly, a lot of people online shit on this guy and make fun of him and mock him because he is very meme-like and definitely a character. But even his struggles, people are mocking, and I really hope they never have any dark periods in their life because he's an icon of black metal. No matter what you think of his new material or whatever, he's one of the founding fathers.
Yeah,
He's one of us, and I wish him the best.
And I think mocking him would be sort of like mocking Lemmy in my book.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I mean, you've seen his Motorhead band, haven't you?
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
So anyhow, we're moving on to another one.
Yeah, there you go.
This one, I guess Pete might have heard of before. I don't know if Nick's ever heard of this band. Bort Nagar.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, and this album is great. And then we're going back to they're with Rotting Christ on this great Northeast or U.S. tour, North American tour, playing the smallest place in New York City, which makes no sense. They could have sold out 3 nights there, I'm sure. But this is a strong album, and I love it. And look at it. Nick, you want to be in Bort Nagar quick?
Honorary member.
We're getting goofy here. As we're moving into, I've lost count. I believe this is my number 4 of the year. Amon Amarth, the Berserker. Listen to this album for hours this year. Love it. Love the Viking stuff. People can say it's Amon Amarth. It sounds like the last one. I think it's a great, strong album. We saw the tour. I saw it with Grisala, one of the guys that comes on your show. Over the top of Hammerstein. They have Pyro. They're becoming one of the bigger metal bands. As long as they can, who's going to replace some of the bands that are retiring?
True.
Amon Amarth might be that one in a tour package. Maybe not ever playing arenas in the States, but. And this band here is what you listen to when you can't sleep at night. Insomnia.
Yeah,
man.
it's a good one.
They give you insomnia. Great album. I think this is just one of the best records they've done.
The last couple have been really good.
They've all been good, and I didn't listen to this album a lot when it first came out. I've just been really zoning in on this in the last couple weeks, and I've been playing a lot of it. So that was number 3. We're into the top 2. This album was my number 1 album this whole year. I can listen to this album over and over again. Idle Hands, Mana. They're from, I believe, Portland, Oregon. I had some contact with them online, buying some records from them. Being a fan, I found that these guys actually on a Spotify playlist. I was listening to the Visigoth playlist or Visigoth radio. This came up and I couldn't get enough of it. I actually was talking to them. It's like we're doing a November date in New York City. So I'm figuring I'm looking at like St. Vitus. All of a sudden they're on the King Diamond tour. Wow. And they did the King Diamond tour with Uncle Acid. And now they're coming around in the spring on the Decibel tour. They're with the Mayhem Abbott and Gatekeeper. Yep. And I just love this record. And check it out. We've sold a lot of it here. And this was my number 1 album all year.
Yeah, I was going to say, last week you told me that was going to be your number 1.
Well, I started listening to something that was just intense. And one of my favorite things. Mayhem. Attila is killing on this record.
Attila is killer?
They all are.
It's killing. Attila, it's a killer record, and I can't get enough of it. And they're back, and it's strong. And I liked their last album a few years ago a lot, too. It was very abstract. Mm-hmm. This is a little more, not as abstract, but it's still very good.
Yeah, I think this is a little more them, where the
and there's
last one was a
no
little
picture
more
of them
thorns.
inside for Nick to get involved with.
It's too dark for me.
A dark backdrop for you. So that's my number 1 album. It could almost be a tie with Idle Hands because I love the Idle Hands, but I was listening to this in the car the other day. It's like, you know what? I got to go with Mayhem. It's intense. It's brutal. You can see them on tour with Abbott in the spring. Hopefully Abbott's feeling better and Idle Hands and Gatekeeper. That's my top 15. I got a couple notable mentions.
What do you got, Steve?
You know what? If Tool put out a record instead of some fancy box with a video game in or something, I probably would have put them in the top 20 or top 15.
Pretty cool album, yeah.
You know, you can't buy an album from them.
Yeah.
Still, you know, then they'll put out a special edition with a cereal box or something with it next.
For $100.
And A Lot War should have been in the top 15 too. I kind of overlooked that today. My good friends at A Lot War, we sell tons of the records. Swallow the Sun, the new Evergrey, the latest from TYR, the latest 1349 record. Spirits of Fire, Chris Caffrey. We sold a lot of that early with Ripper Owens on vocals. And my non-metal album, I guess, you know what, I don't think I pulled out this one either, was Cadaver. Cadaver was in my list, and I forgot to pull up the album today. So I got replaced. But Cadaver is really not a metal album. The Cadaver and the new Rival Sons. So Butch take there. You're going to yell at me because the Rival Sons wasn't in the top 10. But you didn't even show up today, so we can't talk too much about it. So that's me. So
Thank you, Steve.
Mr. Metal himself. This guy rules the hardcore the metal shows in New York City. If he's not at the show, it's at least 10 decibels lower. And he refers to me as what? What am I when I'm in the city?
The King in the North.
The King in the North.
That's right.
And now we're in the North. And
Now we're kind of
still
north.
the King
I
in
mean,
the
this
North.
isn't really north. It's Orange County.
Exactly. Well, hello, everyone. I'm about to do top... I'm going to run down 15 as well. So, starting off my list is... and I don't have a prop for it, I apologize, is a German and Polish black metal band called Darkened Nocturne Slaughter Cult. Just to let you know,
That's a mouthful right
just
there.
to let you know, a lot of the bands, I've got very difficult bands this year. Darkened Nocturne Slaughter Cult, or DNS, is a female-fronted black metal band, but she has the vocalist has one of the most shrieking, intense, possessed voices you ever want to hear. The music is extremely fast, and if you like Immortal and stuff like that, you would like Darkened, and their latest album is extremely brutal. Her voice is like its own instrument, so definitely check that out. Very intense. Moving on from that, I have another Norwegian black metal band called Djevel. D-J-E-V-E-L, Djevel, I guess.
Djevel?
Probably just means devil.
Devil?
They throw that J in there.
Yeah, gotta make it interesting, right?
So these guys obnoxiously named their album Ormer Till Armor, Mane Till Hode, which probably means something not good for people. But no, in all seriousness, though, it's one of the best black metal albums of the year. I mean, just the production, the way the drums strikes everyone is like, just right in the gut. Clear instrumentation. I think people have a conception that black metal sounds very lo-fi, but not nowadays. And these guys are veterans and really, really good, just not as well known. Definitely something to check out. Beyond that, we go over to Iceland. I got a lot of black metal in this list, and I'm sticking with that.
There.
Yeah, Misthyrming, which is that's the easiest thing to say is their name. Their album is called Al Glami. Forgive me, any Icelandic people out there. I cannot. It's the hardest language in the world. Misthyrming. The vocals in that, unlike a lot of the shrieking, rasping black metal, the Misthyrming vocal almost sounds like a shout. I won't say hardcore because that'll turn a lot of people off, but it's definitely a different type of vocal, and their songwriting is just excellent. You're going to be like, why aren't these guys more well known? Probably because no one can pronounce their songs, but really, really good stuff. Misthyrming. Moving on from there, we're going to go over to Scotland, a band called Sayor. Their album Forgotten Paths, it's like 4 or 5, I think 5 tracks or 6 tracks, not a lot of tracks, long songs, beautifully crafted music, makes you feel like you're standing, not to use the stupid Braveheart reference, but like you're looking over the moors of Scotland. A lot of flute-like instruments and stuff like that, but in a very, very just a very, very respectfully. It's culturally relevant to do with Scotland, but it still sounds really metal, I guess is what I'm trying to say. They mix it in very well. It's not too folky. It's actually really uplifting stuff to listen to. I highly recommend it. Moving on from there, we're going to go with a Swedish band called Merg.
You got every country represented.
Yeah, I think I'm doing like the UN of bands. All I have is their wonderful shirt. But that's basically what the album cover looks like. It's the band is called Merg. They're from Sweden. The album is called Straven. And if you like, second wave semi-melodic black metal with a lot of different things going on, very dark but very accessible. Hear all the instruments, beautifully done stuff. If you like that, definitely one of those bands that doesn't get a lot of, just isn't well known. And now from there, moving on to a band that's extremely well known. I think you guys may have heard of Dark Throne, Old Star. Once again, the old crotchety black metal grandfathers keep on going. Oh yeah, the back. There's the boys. Here we go. Fender's Nocturnal Culto. Yeah. The great thing about this Dark Throne album is, first of all, Dark Throne does whatever they want. They've made some punk type records. They've done it all, and lately they've had a more traditional thing going on, and there's a lot of old, like Iron Maiden, old Sabbath type sounds within that record. It's not what you're probably thinking. Still under the tag of black metal, probably because of the rasping vocal, but if you like heavy metal, don't miss that. And now, back to Germany for another very easy to pronounce band called Waldgeflüster. I'm not doing this just to be a pain. The album is called Mannschaftssonaten. Just yell something in German. It's basically the album. Waldgeflüster has now put out a number of records that are just captivating to listen to. I guess you could say it's a black metal basis, but there's a lot of clean vocals, a lot of acoustic parts.
I was going to say any folk influences on there because kind of the cover kind of.
Oh yeah. It's all about like the darkness and depression of being alone in nature, and all this good stuff like that. And the lyrics are in German, but the emotion in his voice is pretty palpable. Definitely some long compositions, but seamless songwriting. You really get into it. Really, really good. Very good stuff. Where am I? Ah, yes. God, I like a lot of black metal. Sorry, but I'm telling you, I'm only bringing you the best. All-female band from the Netherlands called Aussie Girl. All right, this is their second album. That's their logo. Nice and easy to read.
Yep.
These women are extremely vicious. The cutting edge of really, really vicious, well-done black metal. She sounds like she's not even human. And if you are willing to handle a vocal like that, I think you'll find that there's not a dull moment on the album. Really, really vicious and good.
Vicious and good.
Vicious and good. Now to Norway. Veterans.
Yep.
Campfire.
Yeah.
One of my favorite bands on this earth. Another band who's came out of that first wave of black metal. They had some folky stuff going on, but never in a very traditionally, like a rough-edged way. Nothing like Corporate Line or anything like that. And they've managed to extend their career and thrive in this latter era just by just really good, creative, awesome songwriting. There's a lot of different stuff going on. There's some slower numbers that are weird. There's the fast double bass. There's everything in between. The vocals are just insane. Again, with the shouting, clean vocals to mix up with the rasping stuff, so that kind of gives you a break from that. Yeah. So now I'm getting out of black metal for a moment, coming over to Sanhedrin. Sanhedrin is a band that is the complete opposite of what we've been talking about. I guess you could say it's just a traditional metal band. They have a female singer who kicks all kinds of ass.
They're very good, actually.
Yeah, it's just good old heavy metal songwriting. They're from New York.
I think I saw them open for a band.
Yeah,
I think they were with Visigoth.
Yeah.
And Scripture.
Yeah.
Which is another notable.
Yeah.
Oh, those guys are great.
I didn't put that in there.
Yeah. And
I'm slipping.
oh, right. Yeah. Sanhedrin. Absolutely, just the songs. They have the songs. A lot of bands go out there and they got the sound, they can do it, but these guys write such memorable songs. Yeah. Definitely check out Sanhedrin. The new album is called The Poisoner. All right. And I don't have a prop for this one. So there's this English band called the Meads of Asphodel. And the only way a lot of your audience that's more into hard rock and progressive may have heard that name is because for 12 years they employed the former bass player of Hawkwind, Alan Davey. who's no longer with the band. But to give you a sense, when I tell you that they're self-described as English punk black metal, whatever that is, that does not do them justice. Their latest album is called Running Out of Time, Doing Nothing. And the best way I could describe it is some of the songs, the vocal arrangements remind you of show tunes put over really heavy metal, with some parts where he'll just break out into a dance beat and then back to like regular heavy metal. If that sounds like somebody on crack that you don't want to listen to, these guys are unbelievable songwriters and great scathing lyrics, socio-political without being preachy, really, really sarcastic and English as hell. One of the best albums that'll get overlooked. But let me tell you something. If you like prog and death and black metal and everything in between, these guys are unreal. Like show tune choruses going on with like really dark music, but not in a campy way at all. Like really, really good. Now we're up to number 4. Back to Norway.
Drum roll.
Yep.
Back to Norway. Here we go.
1349.
Yeah, I think everybody's familiar with them.
Oh yeah, veterans here come out with an absolute storm of an album that opens up a million different ways. There's the boys there. This album, The Infernal Pathway, is really just them continuing on from their previous effort, Massive Cauldron of Chaos. After going through some experimental phases, 1349 has kind of stripped it back down, and yet you're not going to find just a 6-minute blast beat. There are a lot of old thrashy sounds, a lot of old Slayer in there, a lot of old Slayer type solos being thrown in. They slow it down. They even sound like old. They even sound like Satyricon at times. They do share members. Their drummer Frost is also the drummer of Satyricon. So
1349 on your list.
Yeah, definitely very strong.
It was in the honorable mentions, but I don't think I've had time to really listen. Some of the stuff I just haven't had time to listen to.
Yeah,
I've been
I
in
hear
this
you.
process of moving the shop.
I listened to less new albums this year than any year in recent memory.
Same here.
I just haven't had the time.
Yeah, just it wasn't as much. Last year had so many.
I think there was plenty of good releases. I just didn't have time to get to it.
And now if you have time to move it, like I was in this mode of possibly moving and some of the stuff, I even like the Insomnium. I didn't start listening to last week.
Okay, Boomer. Anyway, moving along my top
Moving
three.
on, top 3.
Boomer.
So there's a band from Finland called Urn. U-R-N, Urn. The album is called Iron Will of Power. This gentleman comes from a black metal background. He was in a band called Barathrum, which is like a major old school Finnish black metal band. But Urn sounds more like Destroyer 666 than anything black metal. Yeah, and you would love this Urn album. Wow, just phenomenal songs, great everything. Instrumentation, vocals, catchy, really good stuff. Really good stuff. If you like that black and thrash. Now my top 2. You have seen it before, but I put it in my top 2 spot here. The Mayhem album, Damon. Steve spoke about it. This is, to me, the follow-up to De Mysterio Dom Satanis. That now it's the follow-up to me. Stylistically
Long time
similar,
coming, right?
long time coming. This is Mayhem just being Mayhem, and just writing the music that comes the most natural to them, not trying to sound avant-garde or anything like that. But the vocal, the arrangements, everything. It's creepy, it's mean, it's got everything. It's one of the finest black metal albums. And then number 1, people who know me will not be surprised that Borknagar once again sits atop the heap.
True North. It's a great
True
one.
North, yeah. It absolutely has everything. Lars Nedlund shares vocal duties with ICS Vortex. Lars Nedlund has one of the nicest clean vocals that you'll ever hear. Really adds a lot of emotion.
And Vortex has great clean vocals too,
Well,
right? So
he's
it's like
the man.
the two of
He's-
them right together.
Yeah,
It's like,
he's one of my top 5 vocalists. So
yeah, he's awesome.
again, really great songs. That's what it always comes down to, is that the bands can still sound good, right? But can they write memorable songs that add to their canon? And Borknagar does that once again.
It's very epic sounding too.
yeah.
It's just,
So that is my hard-to-pronounce, mostly black metal list.
Cool. All right, so I guess that leaves me. So, as always, my list is going to be a mix of a lot of different kind of styles because I kind of listen to a lot of different types of music. So there's going to be some prog in here, some hard rock, some metal, all sorts of
I'm
stuff.
pretty
So
close with that name.
Coming in at number 10. So how I'm going to do it this year, guys, so you're going to hear my top 10 right now, and then on Christmas Eve, I'm going to give you my top 30, so you'll get the whole list. So coming in at number 10 for me is The Great Adventure by the Neil Morse Band. Of course, Neil Morse and Mike Portnoy, ex of Dream Theater and Company, killing it on their latest concept album. Progressive metal, hard rock, all sorts of stuff in there. It's fantastic. Those guys are some of the best around today. Coming in at number 9. I had to put this on here somewhere.
What's that?
Got to put Whitesnake on there.
Whitesnake?
Yeah, absolutely. Flesh and Blood. I love it.
Whitesnake in the top 10 in 2019.
Absolutely. Wow. Flesh and Blood, man. I dig it. I didn't
listen to that one.
It's quite good, man.
I forgot I came out.
It's quite good. I mean, it's just typical Whitesnake, right? It's catchy. It's heavy. A lot of great guitar solos and things like that. So, coming to number 8. This was actually a real treat and kind of like an unexpected surprise this year. So this is a Winter Ethereal from John Arch Mathios, okay? 2 guys, ex of Fate's Warning. Well, Mr. Mathios is still in Fate's Warning, but John Arch, the original singer. It's dark, it's heavy, it's progressive, really, really good stuff. I dig it a lot and really memorable. Well, we've all had this one in. True North by Borknagar.
Who?
Who's that?
True North.
Yeah, it's
Amazing album.
I dig
True
it.
North,
I
strong
dig
and
it.
free, right?
Yeah, there they are. It's a pretty special album, just like all their albums. Great band. All right, next up, The Wings of War by Overkill. I listened to this all year long.
I did too until I don't know.
Like
Then I
all
kind
year.
of I was like, wait a minute, wasn't that last year?
Yeah, well, yeah, because we've been listening to it for so long. It seems like it came out like last year.
Head of a pin.
Yeah. All right, coming in at number, where are we? Number 6. Yeah, 6, 5, 4, 2, or 5. The Verdict by Queensryche. These guys are on quite a roll with Todd on the vocals. I mean, I'm sorry, but I don't miss Jeff. I hate to say it, man. I really don't. And what I like about this is just it's so similar in feel and style to like those classic Queensryche albums.
Yeah.
They're just
I haven't
themselves,
missed
right?
Jeff since
Right.
Operation Mindcrime.
And every tune is memorable. You know, it's like it's just
I really
killer.
haven't.
This one kicked my ass the day it came out, and I still listen to it a lot.
Wow.
The Door to Doom by Candlemass.
Should have given that more of attention.
Oh,
man.
it's killer.
That was on my list the other day too, and I forgot
Candlemass.
about it. See
It's
what happens
so
when you're
good. I
putting
mean,
up stores?
Man, just a classic Doom band, just still killing it. The new
That
lineup
came
is just
out
great.
early in the year.
It did come
like
out early in the
January,
year,
I think,
and I've been listening to it all year. You know, it's awesome. All right, the latest from Opeth. I like it a lot.
Came in strong.
Came in strong late in the year, but you know what? It's just where Opeth is at today. I know a lot of people still bitching and moaning that they don't do the death metal anymore, but
They haven't.
they haven't in a long time now.
Get
So,
over it.
Yeah,
There's
they're
35,000 bands that do it more than they do it.
right, exactly. So it's like but
But we want Opeth to do it.
when it comes to classic sounding '70s hard rock and prog and a little bit of folk, and now they're doing like kind of like a psychedelic thing, man, they just do it great. So I don't know, I love it. My number 2 album of the year, Distance Over Time by Dream Theater. It's a great return to form by Dream Theater, in my opinion. I know after that abomination that was the astonishing, terrible concept album, this is a bounce back. It's just a classic sounding Dream Theater album. It's heavy, it's progressive, it's just well produced and well constructed. And then my number 1 album of the year.
Drum roll.
I actually
Wow, number 1.
Yeah, but you know what it is? Every year, my number 1 has always got to be the album that I listen to the most during the course of the year. And when it came down to it this year, Feral Roots by Rival Sons, I have listened to all year long, nonstop.
Okay.
It's just quality. It's the best album they've ever done. It's like the best 70s style hard rock and blues rock album that I've heard in.
That's not what I've done in my book.
Uh,
I like it.
I mean, all their albums are
Western
really good.
Valkyries.
Well,
That one's the one that got me into it. Maybe that's why.
I gotta check these guys out.
but it's just great stuff. I
good
mean, it's just
stuff.
quality top to bottom.
I kind of
Great
forgot
stuff.
about it until you mentioned it today. You said Butch is going to yell at you. But I'm like,
Butch is happy now.
I forgot.
Butch is
that-
happy now. I think this was Butch's number 1 also, if I remember correctly.
Probably.
But it's a great album. It's there are people who are like, oh, rock music is dead. Rock is dead. No, it's not fucking dead, man.
Maybe
It's like
in the
listen
United
to.
States.
Well, you know what? But this is a U.S. band. These guys should be enormous here. I mean, in a perfect
should
world.
be.
So Feral Roots, my number 1 for the year. So you'll get my full top 30 on Christmas Eve, and that's it, guys. So
Thanks for coming.
thanks for coming. Thanks for having us. All that
Rock
kind of
over
stuff.
London, rock on Chicago. You know?
That's right, and happy holidays to everybody. And hope if you missed out on any of these great releases during the year, now's your time to go check them out. But this is not an exhaustive list by any means. These are just our favorites. You might have your favorites, and that's totally cool. But this is what we like. This is what we thought were the best of the year. But there's so much good new music out there that came out in 2019. So don't be one of those people that said there was no good music in 2019. There's a lot of great music in 2019.
in 25 years.
Exactly.
There's
Yeah.
plenty of music you can pronounce.
Exactly. Just not his. That's all.
Maybe not his list, yeah.
I was going to talk about some EPs, but I can't pronounce that.
Yeah, right. So anyway, visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. So for Nick, for Steve, hey, don't forget to come down to Rock Fantasy.
RockFantasy.com.
Address, Steve?
12 East Main Street.
Middletown, New York.
Yeah,
Do
come
not
check
miss
out
out. The
our
new
new
store
shop.
looks great. He's got so much stuff here. Come down for the holidays and buy some gifts for yourself or
It's
your
almost
loved
like
ones.
a regular store now. It's kinda
It is
scary.
totally a regular store now. Yeah,
Before
it's
it was kind of a
awesome.
hangout. But
Yeah.
it'll be a hangout and a regular store.
Yeah, exactly. So take care, guys. Have a happy holidays, and we'll see you over the next couple days, all right?
Merry Christmas.
Take care, guys.
Stay
Santa
metal.
flip, big pinball, Santa.
Later.